So you're getting things done. You're showing up, you're answering texts, you're making dinner, but underneath all of it, you feel activated but flat and far away, like you're watching your own life through a foot of glass. That's functional freeze. And today I want to walk you through what it is, why it's there, and some real small ways to start coming out of it. I'm Justin Sinceri, a therapist, self regulation coach, and Polyvagal Institute editorial board member. You're listening to Stuck Not Broken. Welcome. This is, of course, not personal life advice or therapy, and nor should it replace those things. Let's start with what freeze is because I see it getting mixed up out there. Freeze is not its own separate, distinct autonomic state. Freeze is a mixed autonomic state. A mixed state is what you get when two of your primary autonomic states are running at the same time. There are three of them. Play is safety plus mobilization. Stillness is safety plus shutdown. And freeze is mobilization plus immobilization, or flight or fight plus shutdown. They're both active at the same time. So freeze combines mobility and immobility. It's like having the gas pedal and the brake pressed at the same time. There's mobilization running, that's the gas, your sympathetic branch revving you up, ready to act. And there's the shutdown running at the same time, though, and that's the brake, your dorsal vagal branch, pulling you toward immobility and numbness and disconnection and drained. Both of those at once. That's what freeze is. So, what does the word functional add? It describes the severity, not a different state. Functional just means you can still get through your day while you're in freeze. A functional freeze can be mild, like tension, but manageable, or it can be severe with chronic panic, overwhelm, rage, or fear running just like underneath everything that you do. So, same state, but just a different intensity. Let me quickly separate functional freeze from a few things it gets confused with as well, because the mix up can send people toward the wrong kind of help, and we need clarity here. Functional freeze is different but connected to burnout, depression, and shutdown. Burnout is depletion, it's running on empty over time. And it might be the result of a functional freeze, something I hear from my clients pretty often. You manage and manage and manage the freeze, crash into burnout, and then you recover just enough, and then you go right back into your freeze baseline and do it again. Depression is a clinical diagnosis. Low mood, low energy, low motivation, most days for weeks, maybe longer, months and longer. Through the polyvagal lens, the underlying mechanism is dorsal shutdown. It's a biological mechanism. So that's burnout and depression. The third one is shutdown. Shutdown and freeze are not the same thing. Shutdown is collapse. It's the brake without the gas, the collapse. It's the numb and disconnected. Freeze is the brake and the gas together. People cycle between the two. Freeze while they're managing and then shut down when they crash. But they're different states. Or freeze is shutdown is a part of freeze, but shutdown is its own thing as well. So they're different states, and that matters because what actually helps them is slightly different, though overlapping. I don't think burnout and shutdown are necessarily the same thing, but those two things might be connected as well. Here's what it looks like from the inside, though. Picture, I don't know, a normal Tuesday. Your inbox is handled. Good job, by the way. Your kids are picked up. That's important. Good job. And a quick, yeah, good. How you doing to your neighbor? But inside your experience, you can't taste your food. Something funny, happens in a group chat and you just stare at it. You overthink your reply and then you move on without even replying. There's this like low hum of I should be doing more, but that never actually turns into doing more. You're smiling maybe on the outside, but internally you're like wired and far away. You're not broken. Hopefully you know that. Your gas and your brake are both on. Stuck, not broken. These signs tend to cluster. wired underneath the flatness on edge for no clear reason, feeling far from people, even the ones you love. Panic or rage or overwhelm or fear, just as an undercurrent underneath it all. Tension that won't dissolve, breath that stays tight and shallow in your chest. It's a revolving door of tension and collapse, and it gets hard to start things, hard to care about things you normally care about, or to act on it. So, why does this happen? Your nervous system has one very old, simple job: keep you safe or protected or alive. When something feels like too much, it shifts into defense. Fight or flight is the mobilized one, like the gas. But when fight or flight isn't possible, when you can't run and you can't fight, the body reaches for an older defense and slams on the brake. That's the shutdown. And freeze is what you get when the brake comes on, the shutdown, but the flight fight gas is still pressed. So it's not a malfunction, it's protection doing exactly what it evolved to do. Freeze evolved to be temporary. It's like going immobile as a danger passes by or bracing for impact, coiling up like a spring and then releasing when it's possible to release. The trouble is that we humans tend to get stuck in it and freeze. Stuck, not broken. And that's where the benefit gets lost of freeze and life gets a lot harder. So, what do you do about it? Well, first, what not to do, because the two obvious options can backfire. The first is to push through it. Yeah, you can push, to get through a meeting, but pushing kind of takes whatever gas you have all the way down to E. Pushing is maybe needed to deal with life, and that's fine, but it doesn't deal with the underlying stuckness freeze problem. Push long enough, and you can tip yourself over into full shutdown. The second is just to check out and do nothing. You might call it rest, and rest does matter for freeze. Genuinely, it's important, very important, but it depends on how. Not all rest is equal. Collapsing on the couch and disappearing into a screen for 6 hours, that's not actual rest. That doesn't count. So we'll call that faux rest. And faux rest tends to deepen the problem, setting up a loop where you faux rest, feel worse, ignore your problems, faux rest some more, and then feel worse, and on and on. The rest that actually helps is the kind where you're present within it, mindful of the moment that you're actually in. So if it's not push harder and it's not check out and faux rest, what is it? It runs in a specific order and it depends on how much access you have to safety. Safety has to thaw the freeze first. When your body picks up enough small safety signals, the break of shutdown, that immobility can come off. And once the shutdown immobility lifts, the mobilization that was frozen underneath can finally start to move instead of just sitting there stuck or frozen. Safety thaws the freeze. The brake releases, and then the stuck flight fight energy can move through and out. But your safety has to hold while that happens, which means it has to get stronger, which means this is not a one time fix. It happens in small doses over time with patience. So here's one small way to start today. It's a quick orienting and small movement exercise. Don't worry about doing it perfectly, just follow along. You can start wherever you are and however you are. There's no, right way to sit or stand. You can sit, stand, lay down, walk. You can walk if you want to. It doesn't matter. I want you to let your eyes go where they want to go. Don't direct them. Just let them drift and follow them. As they move or not, notice a few things. Notice something that's moving, like the leaf on a branch or shadows from the tree outside swaying on the wall. Notice which colors your eyes are drawn to. Notice light and dark. Stay with that for like 30 seconds or longer if you want to. And after you do that, take one bigger breath in on purpose and let it out slowly if it's comfortable. Don't force it. And then let your next couple of breaths happen on their own. Don't control them, just be with them. And then briefly acknowledge the freeze that you have underneath it all. If you have the capacity, feel it directly at a very low level and keep that part pretty short. And then after you do that, do one small movement. Wiggle your toes, make a fist and release it. Roll your wrists or your ankles or your shoulders. And then genuinely tell yourself, good job. Let your eyes wander one more time and take one more intentional breath in and out to finish everything up. And that's it. Really simple little practice and something you could totally do on your own for a minute every day. Let your eyes lead and be drawn to what they like. That's a cue of safety. The small movement is gentle mobilization. You're not trying to feel amazing. You're giving the brake permission to come off a couple of millimeters and then letting a little bit of the stuck energy potentially start to move. That little practice will not cure your freeze, and I'm not going to pretend that it will, especially if you're new to these type of practices. What it does, though, in small doses over time is build the foundation. A little more safety, a little more presence, and maybe a little bit less defense. Over time, with reps like that, you might notice small signs of your system letting go. A shiver or a tingle moving through you, a bigger breath that arrives on its own, a yawn. Those are good. That's regulation happening spontaneously, not forced. One more thing also, functional freeze is common and workable. And for a lot of people, small daily practices plus real mindful rest are enough to start shifting it. Of course, seek a professional if it's severe. So here's what I want you to leave this episode with. The freeze is not a character flaw, and it's not a failure, and it's not brokenness. It's your gas and your brake both on at the same time for reasons that once made complete sense. You're not broken, you're stuck. And stuckness can move, it's not permanent. If you're not sure which stuck state you're in, don't worry, that is common. I have a resource just for you. Head to stucknotbroken.com/stuck. This free resource will help you identify your experiences and give them some language. It might help you to narrow down your own stuck state, whether that's freeze or something else. Stucknotbroken.com/stuck. Thank you so much for listening.